The courtroom fell into a chilling silence when the defendant leaned forward, smirked, and whispered, "She deserved it." Gasps echoed through the gallery. The judge froze. The jury stared in disbelief. Even the prosecutor paused mid-sentence. This wasn't just a slip. It wasn't a mistake. It was the moment everything changed. Because up until that second, he had claimed he was innocent. But those 3 words, they exposed something far darker. Something the investigators had suspected all along. And in that instant, the courtroom realized they were staring at a man who had just told the truth.
On a quiet evening in suburban Ohio, 34-year-old Nancy Phillips vanished without a trace. A devoted nurse, a mother, and known for her kindness, Nancy lived a routine life, one that made her sudden disappearance all the more disturbing. Her car was found parked neatly outside her home, her phone left behind, and no signs of forced entry. It was as if she had simply evaporated. But police quickly focused on one person, her boyfriend, 38-year-old Daniel Reeves. Friends described their relationship as complicated, with frequent arguments behind closed doors. Neighbors reported hearing shouting just days before Nancy disappeared. Reeves, however, insisted everything was fine. He claimed Nancy left on her own, said she needed space. But detectives weren't convinced. His story shifted too often. Small details didn't add up. Within days, what started as a missing persons case turned into a full-scale homicide investigation. What happened to Nancy Phillips, and why did the man closest to her seem so calm? Stay with us as we break down the investigation, the interrogation, and the chilling courtroom moment that stunned everyone. And make sure to subscribe so you never miss a case like this, because sometimes the truth hides in plain sight. From the beginning, investigators treated Nancy's disappearance as suspicious. There were no signs she planned to leave, no packed bags, no withdrawn money, no goodbye message. Her life had simply stopped. Detectives executed a search warrant on Daniel Reeves' home. What they found raised immediate red flags. Freshly cleaned carpets, bleach traces in the bathroom, and most concerning, a faint trace of blood detected using luminol near the hallway. Reeves claimed he had spilled wine, but forensic analysis told a different story. The blood matched Nancy.
Surveillance footage from a nearby gas station added another layer. Reeves was seen late that night purchasing cleaning supplies hours after Nancy was last heard from. Investigators also tracked his phone location. Data placed him near a remote wooded area just outside the city around 2 a.m., the same night Nancy disappeared. When confronted, Reeves changed his story. First, Nancy left voluntarily. Then he claimed they argued and she stormed out. Then he said he couldn't remember.
Detectives recognized the pattern: deflection, minimization, and memory gaps. Classic indicators of deception. They brought him in for questioning. What followed wasn't just an interrogation. It was a psychological chess match.
Inside the interrogation room, Daniel Reeves appeared calm, too calm. He leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, speaking in measured tones. "Detective, Daniel, we found Nancy's blood in your home." Reeves, "That doesn't mean anything. She lived there." But his body told a different story. Subtle shifts, avoiding eye contact when asked about the night she vanished. His breathing quickened when confronted with phone data. Detectives applied pressure slowly. "Detective, we know you went to Pine Ridge that night." Reeves, "I go there all the time." At 2 a.m., silence. They switched tactics, sympathy. "Look, people make mistakes. Arguments get out of hand." Reeves' posture softened. His voice dropped. She wouldn't stop yelling.
It was the first crack. But then he pulled back, denied everything again, claimed confusion, claimed stress. Hours passed. Detectives presented evidence piece by piece, never all at once, building pressure, watching for reactions. Reeves began contradicting himself. Timelines shifted, details changed. And then came the most telling moment. When shown photos of Nancy, he didn't react with grief. He showed irritation. To investigators, that said everything.
The trial of Daniel Reeves gripped the nation. Prosecutors painted a clear picture of volatile relationship, escalating arguments, and a final confrontation that turned deadly. The defense argued there was no body, no definitive proof of murder. They claimed Nancy left willingly, suggesting she needed to escape the relationship. But the prosecution dismantled that narrative. Forensic experts testified about blood evidence found in the home. Digital analysts walked the jury through Reeves' phone data. Surveillance footage showed him buying cleaning supplies.
Then came the witnesses. Nancy's friends described her fear in the weeks leading up to her disappearance. Witness: she told me if anything ever happened to her, it would be him. The courtroom grew tense. Reeves sat motionless, expressionless, until the prosecution played the interrogation footage. Jurors watched as his stories shifted. His tone changed. His composure cracked. The defense objected repeatedly, but the damage was done. And then came the moment no one expected.
It happened during cross-examination. The prosecutor leaned in, voice steady. Mr. Reeves, did Nancy Phillips deserve what happened to her? The courtroom held its breath. Reeves hesitated, just for a second. Then he leaned forward and said quietly, "She deserved it." Gasps erupted. The judge immediately called for order. "Mr. Reeves, you will control your statements." But it was too late. Those words shattered the defense's case. The jury saw it. The prosecution seized it. This wasn't a man wrongly accused. This was a man who believed his actions were justified. From that moment, the trial shifted completely. The mask was gone. After just 6 hours of deliberation, the jury returned. Guilty. On all counts. As the verdict was read, Nancy's family broke down in tears, grief and relief colliding in one overwhelming moment. Reeves showed no emotion, no remorse. The judge, visibly shaken by the earlier outburst, delivered a harsh sentence: life imprisonment without parole. Your words revealed more than any evidence ever could. The courtroom sat in silence. Justice had been served. But for Nancy Phillips, it came too late.
Cases like this reveal a chilling truth sometimes. The most dangerous individuals aren't the loudest or most obvious. They're the ones who believe they're justified. Daniel Reeves didn't just commit a crime. He believed he was right. And in the end, that belief exposed him. If you want more deep dives into cases like this, subscribe and watch our next case.